Shall we start, Anita? Amita? Shall we start?
Yes, start.
Okay.
Please start.
I'll share the screen. Good evening, Toastmasters, and welcome to the 46th meeting of Showstoppers. 46th meeting of Showstoppers. Today, we have a very exciting theme. So I hope all of you are waiting as much as I am. So without further ado, let's get started. Guys, I have a meeting, please. Let's start off with the club mission. Everybody, please repeat it after me. Keep your hands on your chest and let's go ahead. The mission of a Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every individual member has the opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. The core values that we follow in Toastmasters are respect, integrity, service, and excellence. Next, we have the rules. Since we don't have guests here, and I'm bored of saying the rules, and I know most of you are sleeping, I'm going to try something else. I'll ask each one of you. I'll pick one, and I'll ask each one of you whether you know. You've been in Toastmasters for a long time, so you should know. So let's see how many of you know it. Anita, what is the first one? What does the first one say?
You're asking me?
Yeah. There's a man screaming there.
Okay, we need to mute ourselves on this virtual meeting. So keep your microphones off until you are asked to unmute yourself.
Not
Am I
that one,
correct?
Anita. There's a man. No. There's a man screaming there.
Okay, you want that thing. Okay, fine. The ground rules is that you can't speak on the three taboo topics in this part of the world in Toastmasters meetings, which is sex, religion, and politics. So beware. Is it okay, teacher?
Yes, that sounds fine. Okay, next one, Amita. Tell me, why
I
is there somebody smiling over there?
Okay, everyone is requested to keep their mobile on silent mode.
No, Amita, no. You have to be a good listener. There is somebody just like you in yellow smiling at the right corner. Why is he smiling? The one on top, right corner, there's a smiling face, just like yours.
Okay, you are supposed to applaud after each role player comes on the screen.
Yes, good job. Yes, good job. Okay, now Sridevi. Okay, Sridevi, what does the mobile phone say?
Mute your mobiles while on the meeting.
Yes.
Yes. Keep them on silent.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Then Tina, what does the record button say?
You're being recorded, so make sure you're on best behavior and best beauties.
Yes. Then Purni, what does the laptop say? The laptop, the dotted lines.
Yeah, look at the camera and speak.
Okay. All right. David, what does the monkey looking guy say?
Keep the camera on at all times, I'm assuming.
Actually, I don't know.
I'm just guessing.
Align yourself properly so that you're visible properly rather than, halfway through.
Yes, Tina. I knew it. I knew you would pitch it. Okay, and who's the next one? Deepansh. What does the thumbs up and clap say? Let me see how well Anita has trained you.
We try encouraging others and support them when they're giving speech.
Yes. And Mihir, like an icebreaker. What does the final cross say on the speaker?
keep yourself on mute when you're not
Yes.
supposed to be talking.
Yes, yes. Please do not keep yourself on mute when you're giving the icebreaker. I'm your evaluator today. All right. So next, I think everybody's up. So let's go to the, I'll hand over the baton to our lovely President, Toastmaster Amita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Natasha. Indeed, an innovative way and made us all smiles from ear to ear. Thank you for a great beginning. Good evening to one and all present here at the Showstoppers Toastmasters. A warm, hearty welcome. On the onset, I would like to acknowledge the presence of DTM Purni Sudhakar, who is going to be the general evaluator for today's meeting. Let's greet her with a round of applause. Welcome, DTM Purni. I would also like to acknowledge the guests at our club. But dear guests, hold on. Let us have a rendezvous with all of you and any member who would like to talk about themselves soon after the speeches, just before the table topic session. We will call you in and would love to hear about you. General evaluator, please note this change. Also, Toastmaster Seema won't be able to join us this evening for a genuine reason. So her appointed evaluator, Toastmaster Tina, will be the evaluator for Toastmaster Mihir. So TMOD, please know, you also note this change. So great, let's move on. All of you feel comfortable and enjoy the evening. I feel so privileged to share the glory of the Toastmasters with all of you. Allow me to give you a visual treat of the same. I will just share my screen. So this is our XCOM with many of the newbies taking the charge. Toastmaster Kimji has been appointed as the VPE. DTM Anita has taken as the VPM. Toastmaster David has become the VPPR. Toastmaster Sridevi is the secretary of the club. Toastmaster Deepansh Mathur has become the treasurer, and Toastmaster Natasha is our sergeant at arms. And the immediate past president is Toastmaster Tina. We were so lucky to add nearly 8 members, and we bagged this medley award. Kudos to all of us, and thanks to the members. Also, since I took the presidency from the month of July, we have had nearly 7 successful meetings. This is just a glimpse of the flyers I present to you. The first meeting itself was a big crowd puller with Toastmaster Kaishika coming and addressing all of us. She is 2 times acclaimed international speaker. Also, I would like to present what the Showstoppers Toastmasters intends to do. We will try to achieve the Go-Getter of the Month award too after bagging this medley award. We would like to have a MOT, that is the Moments of Truth, conducted on the 1st of November. And I really look forward to have a social event wherein we all can meet with one another physically, and informal meet at some cafe or some any place. So let us, I assume, let it be Starbucks, and sometime very soon. To have many more interesting meetings with education sessions planned, and with the veterans on evaluation and table topics. To present the newbies as pro in joint meetings as soon as they are settled in our club. So this is the vision and mission I have for the Showstoppers Toastmasters. We are present online also on Facebook, and yeah, we are there on Insta also. I'm sorry, I've forgotten to put the URL here. We'll update you all soon on this. And we meet every alternate Mondays from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Dubai timing. So here we are, and with all this, I would like to announce the meeting number 46 open. I hand over the stage to one of the most dynamic, diligent, and enthusiastic Toastmaster who is going to pull the show this evening. He has been so meticulous in his planning and has been doing all the preparations to present us with an interesting evening. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause, Toastmaster David.
Thank you, Madam President Amita, for this wonderful introduction. I really do appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is as energized, as energetic as I am for this session, because the topic is quite passionate about me. Books. I'm sure we've all grown up in a culture of reading, and something like that, being able to present it on a stage like this, on a Toastmaster platform, is something remarkable. And that's something we're all going to experience today. Ms. Amita, can we share the presentation on the screen? Can you share the presentation? So before we get that, has anyone heard of the book Diary of a Wimpy Kid? I think that's a very common thing. Whenever we were growing up, that was the most popular book. See, I see Toastmaster me here just raising his hand over there. So I know I got someone relatable over there. And the kids over in this generation and the previous one, we're saying it's so old, have read the book. It's like a diary. It's our first take into why a diary is present, how we record our day-to-day lives. It'll be that interesting. I'm sure none of us was as interactive as Greg Heffley was in his day-to-day life, but I hope today's session is going to be as interactive. I'm going to be talking about my 3 favorite books, all right, or the 3 books that have actually impacted. And by chance, I got them right over here. Have you guys all heard of the book Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne? Yes, I can see a lot of nodding heads over there. That's something great, because who knew that traveling around the world, from the comfort of your living room, can be experienced in a book? I think we've seen an atlas was present because of that, and Jules Verne. When we were made to travel around the world in 80 days, something not possible in those times, because he was traveling by train, by elephant, and in the end of it, by a hot air balloon. That was something really unique. The second book I'd like to talk about is something a bit more personal. It's called A Million Little Pieces by James Frey. So the topic of the book is, you're talking about someone who faces an addiction, who wants to get his life back together. And given by the number of speakers, a lot of them are talking about self-help. This is a book that talks about why his journey of starting his rehabilitation and getting better, because we all love a hero who is down on his luck, moving forward in the end of the series. That's the second book. And the last book, which I'm not sure you guys have all heard of, is The Secret Diary of Adrian Mole, age 13 and 3/4. Now, what happens at 13? Are we all like familiar? Well, for me personally, age 13 was the sign of the start of the teen rebellion. Many of us can experience that, how we used to go to our parents and try to rebel. Like everything we did that time was just, no, we can't get into this. No, we want to do it my way, not the highway. But Adrian Mole talks to us, and this is the time when the royal wedding happened, when Princess Diana got married, and he was giving us his take on that time in Britain of that era. But you know what makes the books, the three books I've selected, my favorite books? Because they fall in line with my favorite genre, which is the memoirs. And I'm sure people love listening to other people's stories. Be it successful, be it not successful. It could be comedic, it can be dramatic, it can be a rom-com. Sure, all of us love romance novels over there as well. So when we talk about memoirs, we do understand that we're living that person's life. We're going through the phases that he or she went through. We want to be part of that journey. We want to be part of the session that we start off in some corner of the world. Can be Italy, can be Antarctica, can be in the plains of Africa, can be in the exotic India, and just see where the story goes from there. We are also captivated by that. And I think in this session, getting into my world of books, we're going to be learning so much more over here. And I think I have to give a big shout out to my parents for that regard, because when we watch movies, we're already visualizing whatever's happening on screen. But when my parents made me read books, we used to think, okay, there's these new cuisines out in the world. We learn about Mexico, we learn about France, and the biggest common is the ratatouille. We learn about French culture through books. We went on a global tour from just learning by books. And I never knew when I went to college how there are so many other people like me who love books, who want to learn so much more about books. And this is something I'm sure everyone in this session is going to experience, because the way everyone is going to be introduced kind of special. You guys will all be learned about what books inspire you, what books do you resonate the most with, and that is what we need to enter through this world of books. So I'd like to pass over the session, the mic, to begin this, to the word master of the day, Rakshan. Rakshan's favorite character is Ant-Man from the Avengers. I'm sure everyone's seen Endgame or the Captain America movies. His favorite story is about Ant-Man, whose main origin is about discovering new ideas, abilities, and techniques, creating a new normal. So, Rakshan, the stage is yours.
Thank you, David, for giving me the platform to speak for the word of the day. Okay, so good evening, Toastmasters. So, are you all excited for the word of the day? Okay, so now I can share my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. You guys can see my screen? Okay. So now I would once. Okay. So today I would talk about for the word of the day for Showstoppers. So this is my first meeting for Showstoppers, as David invited me for the Showstoppers as the word of the day. Okay, so next. So the word of the day is herald. You can see the meaning: to announce or to greet with enthusiasm. Second meaning, an official messenger brings news. Third meaning, a person or thing viewed as a sign that is going to happen. These are the synonyms for herald, like advertise, enunciate, proclaim, promulgate, propound, spread abroad, and notify. These are the antonyms for the word herald: bury, conceal, suppress, withhold, hush, secret, and cover. Okay, so the sentences made with herald. So the first sentence you can see as our school. Oh, 1 second. Okay, our school herald delivered the announcement every morning. Second, the herald was to announce the name of a new baby prince that afternoon. The office herald came to everyone's office to bring us the news of the impending merger, because he was always up to date on the latest information. We referred to our friend as a herald. When the microphone went out, the herald projected his voice loudly. Okay, so now I have a small quick sentence making a response with the word herald. Okay, so now I would call Miss Amitha ma'am to give a sentence with herald.
I feel privileged to call upon to start the meeting and herald the new members. I don't know if I'm right.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay, so I would ask David to give a sentence with
Meeting
herald.
slide opened.
Yeah,
Rakshan?
Yeah.
could you display the meanings slide, the slide
Okay.
of the meaning?
Okay, you can see.
No.
Okay, so David, can you make a sentence with the herald?
David has a technical issue, just messaged.
Okay. So 1 second. Okay, Toastmaster Mihir, can you make a sentence with herald?
Let me have a try on this one. When a baby is born, the happy news is heralded by all the family members.
No, it was the same sentence over there, so you can make another one.
Or was it there?
Yeah, it was. It was a new baby prince. The
Oh, okay, yeah, correct. On the opening of a new company, the board of directors heralded the announcement with respect to the starting of the commencement of the operations.
Yeah, perfect one. That's a good one. Okay, so next one I would call Toastmaster. Sorry, Tabassum. Can you make a sentence with herald?
Hi everyone. I'm not sure. Wait a minute. Can it be used as a verb?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, like I am excited to meet you. Can that be like
No,
I'm
it
not
should
sure how to.
be. It should be with the word herald.
Okay. No, I'm drawing a blank. Sorry.
Like,
Okay, no,
probably can show the next slide and couple
Yeah.
can wind up. The next one, the one with the sentences.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
If you're going blank, it's okay for me.
Yeah, I'm going blank.
Okay. No worries, no worries. I can. Okay, so Miss Natasha, can you give a sentence with the Herald?
I'm trying. The Toastmaster Herald, who announces the winners towards the end of the Toastmaster meeting, is normally considered as the Cupid of the show.
Okay, that
Cupid
was the perfect one. Yeah. Okay. So the last one, Miss Purnima, can you make a sentence with the
Herald എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാല്
Good evening, fellow Toastmaster. Rakshan's father heralded the message of his born prince.
Okay, good one. Okay, so okay, that's all done in my part, making a wonderful session and being excited for further. Thank you, Toastmasters, for having an interactive session with me. As I say, this was the first meeting of having a word of the day in this Showstoppers meeting. I had a great experience and to improve my speaking and communication skills. So now I would end this and give this platform to Toastmaster David. Thank you.
Thank you, Rakshan. Thank you, Rakshan, for that amazing session with your world. And guys, if you use the word herald today, we do make it a point at the Showstoppers Club to give a round of applause every time you use the word herald. Sri Devi to give the minutes of the meeting for meeting number 45. So if you could, Ms. Sri Devi, Toastmaster Sri Devi.
Thank you, Toastmaster David. Good evening, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and future Toastmasters. This is Toastmaster Sri Devi, the club secretary, reading out the minutes of meeting number 45. The meeting number 45, which had the theme, The Magical Mantra, held on Monday, 6th of September, 2021. The meeting began sharp at 7 p.m. Our zestful Sergeant at Arms for the day, DTM Anita, initiated the meeting describing the role of a Sergeant at Arms in the meeting. She read out the club mission and the online meeting etiquettes. She also reminded the attendees the Toastmasters promise, then started the presidential address by Toastmaster Amita by welcoming Toastmaster Rajat Ray and the general evaluator, Toastmaster Shyam Prasad. Thus, she declared the meeting open. The baton was then handed over to the secretary of the club, Toastmaster Sri Devi, for the minutes of meeting number 44. The virtual stage was then taken over by the TMOD, Toastmaster Seema, who spoke about the theme of the day, the magical mantra. She explained about Ho'oponopono, a Hawaiian practice of reconciliation and forgiveness. The mantras of healing were, I am sorry, please forgive me, I love you, and thank you. Then came the word of the day by Toastmaster Sheetal. The word was alleviate, which means to make something such as a pain more bearable. This was followed by the induction of the new members by DTM Anita Naidu. She also read out the list of mentors and mentees. Our prepared speeches for the evening were by the following speakers: Toastmaster Divya Shalini, who attempted her L1P1 speech titled Wings Within. Toastmaster Tina Satish attempted her L4P1 speech titled This is Life. Then came the timer's report by Toastmaster Sri Devi, which was followed by voting. The virtual stage was then handed over to Toastmaster Rajat Ray for an educational session on how to overcome stage fright. Then started the table topic session by Toastmaster Amita and the timer's report followed by voting. The evaluation segment was initiated by the general evaluator, Toastmaster Shyam Prasad. Our evaluators, Toastmaster Anita and Toastmaster Shiva, evaluated the speeches and motivated their respective speakers. Then came the timer's report and voting. Following this was the grammarian report by Toastmaster David and the R counter report by Toastmaster Deepansh. Then the general evaluator, Toastmaster Shyam Prasad, reviewed the entire session. The meeting came to an end with the TMOD closing by Toastmaster Seema and the presidential closing by Toastmaster Amita, who also announced the winners of the day. The meeting ended sharp at 9 p.m. Have a wonderful evening, dear showstoppers and guests. Over to you, Club President.
Thank you, Secretary Sridevi, for that minutes of the meeting. Now, we are going on to this part of the segment, part of the session where it is my favorite because it is the time where we get to know our members. It's a time where we get to break the ice. I always wanted to use that line. And now we have Toastmaster Mihir attempting his L1P1 titled The Pursuit of Happiness. But before I start off, there is a small introduction I have. His favorite book is The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. And the quote he lives by is, "Your I can is more important than your IQ." That is quite remarkable. That's quite an interesting quote. And everyone's familiar with the monk who sold his Ferrari. Now, his evaluator is Christina Satish, and she will be reading his icebreakers titled The Pursuit of Happiness.
Good evening, dear Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're enjoying the evening. My target speaker is Toastmaster Mihir Mathur. He's going to be attempting his very first speech of his levels. And this is always the first step. So all the best to him. The purpose of this particular speech is basically for the club to know a little more about the speaker and also for the speaker to understand the basic structure of how to write a speech and present the speech. The speech length is 4 to 6 minutes. So all the best, Toastmaster Mihir, over to you.
So the title of my speech is Pursuit of Happiness. So let me begin with that. So do you know what is the secret of getting ahead? It is getting started. So here I am to break the ice. A very good evening to all my fellow Toastmasters and respected evaluators. Today, I want to walk you through the journey of my life. So I happen to have graced this planet on the 15th January 2000 in the hospital of Mumbai. On that day, it was Makar Sankranti. That is the day when we pay our respect to the sun. And quite obviously, my name Mihir does mean sun, that is S-U-N and not S-O-N. I was born to a lovely couple that who are quite opposite but still compatible. My father, Kuldeep Mathur, is really a disciplinarian, authoritative, and strict at times. While on the contrary, my mother, Dipali Mathur, is kind, caring, and compassionate. Last but not the least, God did bless me with an elder brother, Dipansh Mathur. So why I say luckily, because it does give me all the privilege of being the youngest sibling and enjoying all the rights. So having spent the major chunk of my life in Dubai, I am happy to call it my home. I completed my elementary and higher secondary education from Delhi Private School, Dubai. So during my elementary years, I was quite passionate about sports, particularly football and cricket. But moving on, when I was growing right before my senior year, I realized that it was better for me to devote more time to my education and academic pursuits. So I chose commerce stream and quite happily did ace the boards in the finals. Right after that, my father came to me and gave me two options for my future career. The first option, chartered accountancy. Any guesses for the second one? Chartered accountancy. So, well, that's how the next chapter of my life began. Phew, has it been a difficult one. Now, from being in the confines of my room, spending endless hours with my dear books and a cup of tea, to being working at a corporate level at an audit and assurance firm. So I think my life has completely changed after joining chartered accountancy, and I think it has changed for the better. Probably in a year's time, I'll be very hopeful to add the two beautiful letters CA before my name. With respect to my, now moving on to the my future career prospects, haven't thought through everything at the moment, but I feel audit and assurance is quite monotonous. So I have started developing a little inclination towards equity evaluations and portfolio management. So hopefully I'll be able to build a career in that field. So, I mean, that's about it about me. And the reason why I joined Toastmasters is I'm quite hopeful it'll help me develop my communication skills and public speaking skills at large. And I'll be able to, also improve my negotiation skills, as that's the pathway I have chosen. Thank you. I'd like to end my speech here.
Standing ovation, if you all can.
Just I have to mention, as a culture of the Showstoppers Club, after every icebreaker, we do give a standing ovation for our speakers. Mihir, that was an amazing, amazing speech. I'm so glad we got to know you like that. And this was Mihir, congratulations. You're doing ACE, you're doing CA. That is like, I think everyone who studied commerce knows how hard accountancy is. So thumbs up to you, dude. But I do have to mention, before we move on to our next speaker, I have to give a bit of backstory on this, on the evaluator, Tina Satish. So her favorite book, like I did say, we're going to be all focused on their favorite books and quotes and characters. So for evaluator Tina, Little Woman is one of her favorite books, and the quote she likes most, the quote she resonates most is watch and pray, dear. Never get tired of trying and never think it's impossible to conquer your faith. A mom's lesson to her daughter to never give up. That is so sweet. That is really, really sweet. I think we can all resonate with that. Now for our next speaker, our next icebreaker session, Toastmaster Deepansh is giving his level 1 project 1. He is going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Natasha. So a bit of backstory about Deepansh. His favorite book, when I asked, was Rich Dad, Smart Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, who is an American businessman and author who started investing at a very young age. He believes that the fear of failure is the reason why most people don't succeed in life. And his speech is called Attempt to Change My Paradigm. And a bit of thing about Toastmaster Natasha, his evaluator. She loves self-improvement books. And her favorite book is by Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth. Toastmaster Natasha, can you please read his purpose of the speech, please?
Yes, sure. Hi, Deepansh. The purpose of icebreaker speeches is to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Your timing will be 4 to 6 minutes, Deepansh. Good luck.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is Deepansh Mathur, and can you guys guess what does my name mean, Deepansh? Well, my father's name is Kuldeep and my mother's name is Dipali. They both have Deep in their names. And Deepansh means a part of light, Deepansh. And I've grown up in UAE, India, and Oman. So I'm very well versed with different kinds of cultures since I've studied in a lot of different kinds of schools and universities. And from the past 20 years, and major life of mine has been spent in Dubai. As a child, I was a bit dreamy and hyperactive. Although as I started growing up, I've tried to ground myself up, and I was just like how my brother said, even I'm blessed enough to have a brother like Mihir, and he's the more sincere and down-to-earth version of me. When we were growing up together, we were pretty compatible as such. We played a lot of sports together. The major sports that we played together included squash, swimming, and cricket. He taught me how to play cricket, even though he's younger than me. My parents have also influenced my life in a lot of ways. In a sense, today who I am is because of my mother. So I'm able to I'm able to understand Hindi in a very good manner, understand Indian traditions. That's all because of my parents. I completed my post-graduation from Holt International Business School. So Holt International Business School is a university that emphasizes on multicultural, multi-background people as such. And I completed my post-graduation in Masters in International Business. Completed my undergrad from Middlesex University in 2016. That was a bachelor's in business management. So between my bachelor's and my master's, I had a 2-year gap year where I was working in a shipping company owned by my parents. And after I completed my post-graduation, I joined the business back. Our business is mainly focused on ship operations and ship management. However, I have an interest towards tech, and slowly I feel that the application of tech will be very beneficial for businesses because it's going to cut the cost down, it's going to retain customers, and it will help the business grow. The earlier you adapt, the better it is. However, I'm trying to get more opportunities to get into this sector slowly. Another thing that I believe in is that we should live a life with a minimalistic approach. So if I have to give a message to the world today, that would be to live a life with a minimalistic approach. Because if you live with a minimalistic approach, you'll be more happier and you'll have a better sense of freedom. Thank you.
Everyone, could we please rise to give a standing ovation?
Let us all stand up.
Thank you, Mihir. Thank you, Deepansh, for that speech. Now, could we have the timer report by Toastmaster Aditya, please?
Yeah. First speaker took 3 minutes 44 seconds, and second speaker took 3 minutes 17 seconds.
Thank you, Timer Aditya, Toastmaster Aditya. Now, I would like to call on the president, Ms. Amita, for Toastmaster Amita, for her introduction to our education
Need
session.
to take the call, girls. President.
Actually, both are icebreakers, right? So let us have them. Yeah, for the poll, right? We can have both the speakers. For the poll. Yes, the icebreaker speeches are supposed to be 4 to 6 minutes. And as the timer has read out, it's less than 4 minutes, but never mind. We will have both the speakers on board for the polling.
So guys, do drop your polls in who was the speaker for the day. Now the next part of the session is going to be an education session. And I think our president, Amita, will be the one giving an introduction to our fellow Toastmaster and club member, the Vice President of Education, Toastmaster Chaitanya Kim. Ms. Amita, over to you.
Thank you, David. It's my honor and privilege to welcome the VPE of this club, donning the hat of an educationist this evening. I have his impression as a very meticulous and diagnostic evaluator. He is an astute businessman for past 35 years in his professional life. Today, he is here to give us an insight into the art of beginning to write a speech. I'm sure it's going to be very, very helpful as we have newbies in our Toastmaster Club. Help me welcome the doyen and meticulous Toastmaster Chaitanya Khimji.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster Amita. Would you please give me the share option?
Yes, Zoom Master.
It's done.
All right, thank you very much. Toastmaster of the day, David. When you began to speak first, you made a very beautiful statement about the love for something that everybody has sometime in their life. Do you remember what it was?
It was the love of books.
Love of books, absolutely. Now, people who write books are the ones who are actually afraid of giving speeches. That's why they write books. Now, this is not something which is published, but I have met a couple of authors who have written books. And when I asked them, I said, why do I not find you at different platforms giving speeches rather than writing books? This is writing the book is actually where our thought process begins. So the first thing you ever do as far as writing a speech is concerned is to pen your thoughts. If you do not pen your thoughts, you will never, ever, ever be able to give a speech. So many thoughts flow in your mind from time to time. They are in all various different means of information, modes of information, and the fact that we are in a world where we find it difficult to absorb everything that comes to us. We find it difficult because our mind is like a sponge. What it absorbs from the eyes and from the ears and from the olfactory nose as well is something which gets filled in. Today, there is a flood of information, but how do we gather this? The only way of gathering it is to write down. The very first time that I wrote a speech was when I had to address my school students, colleagues who were there in school with me, my peers. And I had to actually tell them that I am sorry for my tardiness. Now, did I actually believe that I was sorry? The answer, as you might have guessed by now, was no. I did not believe that I was sorry because I had somebody to blame. Somebody who made me reach school not on time, whether it was my younger sister who was not ready with her bags, or whether it was the driver who did not come on time, or whether there was traffic on the road. I always had somebody to blame. So when you give a speech, the first thing in it is believe. The most important factor is to believe in what you are going to say. Because if you do not believe in what you are saying, the life that comes in front of you, the people that come in front of you will not believe what you say. You will be called a liar. The person who is cheating people, giving misinformation. And every time, as you know, one lie leads to another. So unless and until you do not believe, you will not be able to speak what you have to say to the people. So this is the initial aspect of speech writing. You pen it and you write what you believe in. We will now go through some presentation slides which I have prepared, which I will present to you. This will give you certain chronologies of how speech writing is to be done. You can see the first part of it is the organization of the speech. What is the essential component of a speech? the structure. As every school teacher will teach you, write an essay, you need an opening, you need a body, you need a conclusion. The opening is the one which really sets the tone of the speech. That is where the interest is developed in what you are going to say to your audience. Be it for 4 minutes, be it for 5 minutes, be it for 7 minutes, be it for any number of minutes that you're going to talk to your listeners. We talked about the opening, which is the head. Now we talk about the torso. The main content of your body of your speech comes in various paragraphs. Paragraphs are small mini chapters of your speech, just like a book, which David talked about. We know for sure that these chapters indicate some sort of a timeline. So if you saw the speeches of both the Mathur brothers, they talked about a timeline from the time they were born till the present date. So the body of the speech has a timeline so that the speech moves in a smooth manner, like how we go from the breathing process of the lungs to the gullet, where the food goes in, for the stomach, where the digestion takes place, and through the intestine is the body of the speech. That is the timeline. And finally, the conclusion. Now, the conclusion has two aspects to it. One, it is summarizing. The conclusion summarizes everything right from the opening to the body and everything that is mentioned in it. Because the conclusion is one of your strongest points towards the end of the speech. Because if in the conclusion you have not summarized what you have said and you are struggling to know what you have talked about, it really is a waste of time and energy that you spend in giving that opening and the body of the speech. So the conclusion is a great summary. Now the conclusion is we are moving towards the end of the speech. So do you want people to remember you by the speech? This is your moment. The conclusion. Let them remember your speech forever. So the conclusion must be strong, must have a message, and really make the audience feel, now I know what he was talking about. Now I understand what his speech was all about. Well, an well-organized speech, as we said in the opening, the body and the conclusion, one finds that sometimes people in the audience do not understand what the speaker is talking about. Why? Because you're talking in a language or in a way that people will not absorb what you are saying. So make it simple. Make people understand it. Keep it simple. Life is very complicated, but you can make it easier by doing it in a simple manner. Your organized speech must have one factor. It's your speech. So why do you need to memorize it when it is your speech? Fully absorb everything that you want to say. Everything that you talk about is something that will remain in your mind all the time, and it will keep on flowing like how the juices flow throughout the body. Your speech needs to be received by the audience. The moment you talk in a monotonous manner, na 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 na, finished. You lost the interest of your audience. They will not be receptive. They will not listen to you. So make it dynamic. Express your pleasure show your sadness. Your body talks as much as your mouth talks. Now, selecting your topic. It's very difficult to select a topic because that is one place where people start wondering, what do I write about? What do I talk about? There are criteria which are mentioned in pathways, but they are general indicators. They do not want to make sure that you have complete information at your fingertips. They only give you a guideline. Now, when you have a guideline which is telling you what you are supposed to do as far as your pathways is concerned, there are certain aspects of the life of the speech. Now, when I say life of the speech, again, it goes back to the days when you are born till the time you are at the present moment. So we see a very simple thing called chronology. Chronology expectations of any speech is the most ideal form of writing a speech. So when you have a chronology, you have a subject matter. Whose life we are talking about? Is it the life of the story? Is it the life of a person in your life? Is it you that you're talking about? Or is it some fantasy person that you're going to talk about? But everything that you talk about, even today, what I'm talking about is crafting a speech, writing a speech, delivering a speech, is about all of us because we are Toastmasters or budding Toastmasters. We all want to give speech. We want to learn the art of communication and become good leaders. So various different aspects of your journey of your life and your interaction with so many people is something that you will talk about. The speech has to be three-dimensional. Why does a speech have to be three-dimensional? Though we know that there are many dimensions beyond three, why is the speech three-dimensional? The speech is three-dimensional because it has the length, the breadth, and the content. The length of your speech talks about how long you're going to speak. The breadth talks about the information that is spread across the speech. And the main aspect of the speech, the soul of the speech, is you. How you feel about the speech. That's why it's three-dimensional. Now, casual. People are so tense when they give the speech. They're afraid when they give the speech. They believe that people are going to swallow them alive. Your tongues becomes dry, your mouth dry, your hands are shaking, your feet are trembling. You cannot even see sometimes who is looking at you and what they are saying. They only believe in one thing, is that I am speaking before people I do not know. People you do not know. How many people do you know in life? Not a single person do you know in life because you cannot read what's there in their mind. You know what they project to you. So they will know what you project to them. If you're calm, if you're casual, if you're relaxed, everybody opposite will also feel relaxed, that this particular person is relaxed, and let's listen to what he has to say. If that person is tight, if the person is very like a straight jacket, nobody will want to listen to you. Comparative. Now, these are points where you feel that the speech has got two different types of essences. One is the essence of what needs to be said, and one is the essence of what you want to say. Will you understand the difference between the two? Well, it all depends on how you compare the situation between what needs to be said and what you want to say. If in your speech you believe, like my story of tardiness, that I did not believe in the excuses that I wanted to, did not believe in me being late, then there were lots of excuses. But when the moment I believed that no, it was me who was not careful about planning it, then the whole comparison factor changed. The whole essence of it changed. The speech finally has to be for the moment. If you talk about a speech which people cannot relate to, then there is no purpose of the speech. David made sure that his audience knew about the books that they were talking about. He interacted with them. He made sure that the timeline was perfect. He spoke with each and every role player and found out about the topics that they are going to talk about and the books that they love. Such a beautiful preparation. It was absolutely topical. And finally, problem solutions. The problem solution is in your speech. It is in your content matter. It is in the message that you forward to the people. So the essence of it is, do you have something to tell the audience? What do you derive from what you are saying? Is there a purpose behind why you have written it? Are you addressing all the issues that are mentioned in the speech? This is what problem solutions mean. As we have said, the essential elements are opening, body, and conclusion. Pay attention to the transitions. Now, that is one of the most beautiful things in a speech. Move in a simple, chronological manner with no gaps in between. The world's best ERP, now those who do not know, ERP is Enterprise Resource Planning. Enterprise Resource Planning means your complete IT, information technology systems, are mentioned in a program. Now, if they had a break, you would have a problem. So if you notice one thing, the human body behaves without any external program. It works meticulously 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, multiplied by the number of years that you live. The eyes do their function of input. The nose does the purpose of input and output. The mouth does the purpose of input and output. The ears do the purpose of input. Everything is here. And there are two external output points which are unmentionable as far as our topic is concerned. So let us understand the transition. Chewing into the gullet, into the stomach, and excrete out or blood is made. Hand reflexes, hand-eye coordination. Every person who plays cricket would know how hand-eye coordination is done. And finally, the purpose of taking care of everything. Now, I would like to request anybody who has questions on this particular thing. I will give you some sample speech outlines, the opening, the body, and the conclusion. And now I will take questions from the audience.
Yeah, just unmute and ask, David.
All right. First, before I begin the questions, Toastmaster Chaitanya, I have to say that was an absolute amazing session. Everyone over here has probably written a speech, and I felt like this was the session that hit home the most for everyone. because everyone found it so relatable. They found it so understanding. They found it like, okay, I have been in this situation before. What can I do to improve that? What can I do to expand upon this? So I think everyone benefited from this session so very well. So thank you, Toastmaster Chaitanya. Now, from a guest point of view, as a speaker who would want to improve, how would you say you deal with the writer's block you have during the speech? You always have during a session, for whenever I do a speech, I always have moments where I'm just like looking with a pencil, I'm just like, what should I write next? What should I write next? Even though you have the topic, how can you deal with something like that?
When you prepared for the role of the Toastmaster of the day, you had decided that your subject is books. Now, where would you face a block, a writer's block is when it's in those first 4 to 5 minutes. In those first 4 to 5 minutes that you have to talk about, you have a time frame. Can I have you on the responding to me by
Yeah,
you can see. You had that first 4 to 5 minutes in which you talk about. In those 4 to 5 minutes, you had so many things to describe about the books. What is the essence about the book? What are the different types of books? Which are the generation books? All these type of information today is there within your system. Okay? What you need to understand is whatever there in your system will flow out if you relax. The main thing is tense. The moment you become tense, everything will start clasping. If things are hitting you from left, right, and center, like there used to be a teasing session in our professor and students session, where we used to say that Mr. So-and-so, if he did not get his good cup of tea from his wife, would create a harrowing situation while marking the papers. Okay? The essence of it is that person is doing a responsible job. He should not be affected by circumstances around him. Relax, sit in a garden if you want, sit in a room if you want, go for a walk if you want, and let the ideas flow. Let your mind and body be relaxed. Because the moment it is tense, you will not be able to write anything, mind you. Even how you walked from the house to the street, even that you will not be able to describe it. Why? Because you are tense. So relax, relax, relax. That is the mantra.
I think we will all take that into consideration. That is a great, great, great mantra to have. So thank you, Toastmaster Chaitanya, for your amazing education session. Now I would like to hand over it to our president for a
Before you do that,
Oh.
I just want to tell you one thing. I know probably you would want to know which book I love the most.
Yes,
the book
I
that
would
love
actually.
the most. Yeah, my favorite authoress, actually, I don't know the female of author is authoress or not, is Anne Rand. And the beauty of her writing is objectivism. Okay? She believes in a life where you are your own developer. And it correlates so much with the life of a Toastmaster's journey. It is your development. What you derive from the Toastmaster's journey as a leader and as a communicator, it is you. So let me tell you, the Mathur brothers, it is your first time into Toastmaster's journey. And I would like to tell you both that when I started my journey as a cricketer bowling to your father, I was 30 plus years old and I still had the joy of taking your father's wicket, because at the end of the day, the mantra was, I can do it. Okay, so am I getting right? Is it Jaydeep Mathur, the cricketer? Okay, he's not Jaydeep Mathur, the cricketer. Anyway, so I'm talking about Jaydeep Mathur, the cricketer who lived in Oman and played cricket. Yeah, so I delayed my position. Thank you, and over to you. Thank you so much.
Toastmaster Chaitanya, I have a question for you.
Oh, please go ahead.
Okay, while delivering the speech, how can we manage by sharing the screen?
Very, very good point. Okay, so what you do is basically that you are in a field where you have something called the share option. So the moment I went into this is where I come, right? This is where you are, right? Can you see
Yes.
this?
Yeah, I can see.
So the slides move up and down. There's a freeze on the frame here. All these slides move with up and down arrows. While I'm speaking, I move the arrows up and down for the slides to go forward and back. Does that answer your question?
While delivering the speech, if it takes time to scroll on the slides, so how can we manage it?
Okay, so there is a split second between the time that you press the button and it appears on the screen of the person.
Exactly.
Okay, so what happens is while you are speaking, you know where the need of the slide is going to come in. Okay, so you press this button and do not worry about whether it is coming on the screen or not. Continue talking. Because people are listening to you. This is just an aid. This is just an aid. The presentation slide is just an aid, which you are not going to describe every word of what has been written. You have a story to tell. These are bullet points which are hitting the face of the people, whereas they are listening to you. They are multitasking. Your listeners are not only looking at the screen, but they are also listening to you. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Over to Dr. Master.
Yeah, that was. So thank you for the questions, actually, and thank you, Aditya, for those questions, because it is something that we all do face struggle with, especially during COVID times when we're on Zoom and we're trying to get our point across on such a platform. And I think we all learned something from you. I think we all really did. Now, for the next part of our session, General Evaluator, we do have the new edition of the Rendezvous with the Guests, which should be done by our president. And guys, a bit of insight onto our president on what her favorite book is and why. So it is The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. One of the major reasons why Toastmaster Amita loves the book is the theory of individualism. That it preaches what teaches to drive our own set of principles in life, and live by them and to learn to be happy without compromising them. So Toastmaster Amita, President, over to you.
Thank you, David. I would like to thank Toastmaster Chaitanya Kimji also for such a candid session. I would rather not call it an education session because it was put forth in such a friendly manner. And I'm sure everyone has benefited from it. Let us keep this as a small rendezvous session with our dear guests who are present with us here today and to have a little feedback from them. So, dear guests, you could please give us a brief introduction about yourself. You could also let us know if you are a Toastmaster or a future Toastmaster, and which club you belong to, what attracted you to devote your time with us. And we would also like to hear your feedback and what Toastmasters means to you in this little session you have attended. Can I call upon Tabassum? Hello, Tabassum.
Hi, Toastmaster Anita. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Hi, I'm Tabassum, and I'm an architect and an illustrator. Hello?
Yes, please go on. We all are able to hear you.
Yeah, okay. And I'm just here to improve my speech. As you can tell, I'm not very good at it. and I've always run away from talking publicly. And so I am thankful for Toastmaster Anita for giving me this chance to be here and to experience this. And it was a great speech, and it was very helpful.
Great to know you, Tabassum. And you are at the right place, trust me. Yes, can I call upon, whom do I see next? Rosalind Flory, could you unmute and please talk to us? Okay, I think she's not around right now. We can have the person who is named here as VPPR Musab. Musab?
Oh, yes.
Welcome.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You could be a bit louder, please.
Okay. So I am Musab Fadlaka. I'm from Ethiopia and I'm attending Westfield University for BA in International Business. And I am the Vice President of Public Relations for the Toastmasters Club. Thank you.
Which Toastmasters Club? I'm sorry, I did not get the name.
I think it's can I have
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I got the name right.
Ms. President, Rosalind,
Yeah.
Rosalind and Musab are from my Toastmasters Club, Westfield Toastmasters Club. Both of them are new. Rosalind is like a brand new member who joined the
All right.
Toastmaster fraternity.
Okay, that's good.
I think
We'd love
Rosalind.
to hear from Rosalind also.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, dear.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening.
I think David already gave an introduction about me.
Nevertheless, we would love to hear from you.
Right, sure, ma'am. So I'm a fresher at Westford University,
All right.
and I just recently joined Toastmasters. I've literally only attended one meeting, so yep, I'm really new, and I'm doing BA BM with finance, and I'm a TEDx speaker
Wow.
as well. And yeah, I joined Toastmasters because I want to improve my confidence while on stage, and I just love speaking. So yeah, basically a bit about me.
Lovely. Good to know you. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I see there is someone named Fida. Fida, would you like to speak a few words?
Good evening to all.
Good evening.
As you know, my name is Fidel Blushi, VPE of Pioneer Toastmaster Club. I'm working in Sohar International Bank. I joined Toastmaster Club to improve my public speaking skills. Thank you.
Great. Good to have you. Lovely to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I see Rita, if I'm not mistaken.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
I was invited by Toastmaster Chaitanya to come and hear his presentation and his education session today. It was a great pleasure to hear him. He did it so immaculately. It was just a great learning process for all of us as well. And I would like to personally thank him for that. And thanks for having me here this evening. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody I have left out?
No, you can move on.
Okay. Thank you. one and all, dear guests. It was lovely hearing to you, and stay put with the meeting. There are interesting evaluations and table topics, which is going to happen soon now. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anita, for that session. I think it was a good time to introduce ourselves to the guests who came on board the show, and they're going to experience their first part. If they are part of clubs already, they can see how other clubs are done. So I hope Miss Rita, Rosalind, Musab, Zakita all got an exposure on how different clubs are run. Now, now, at Westwood University Toastmasters Club, we do love the table topic session because we just enjoy interacting, and this is the time of day where we can actually unleash new speakers. So, for our table topic session of the day, we have Toastmaster Divya, who did give us a speech last week. And her favorite book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And the quote she lives by, the starting point of all achievement is burning desire. Over to you, Toastmaster Divya, for your table topic session.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for the introduction. And fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening. So, one of the most exciting part of the Toastmaster is the table topic session I love the most. And the main object is to challenge members to develop communication skills to effectively think on their own feet by answering unrehearsed questions. So, table topic is specially designed to develop your essential communication skill and being a herald. I've been in a herald personally for most of my professional project changing and merging information. So now we're going to focus on the reason we do this is because we have to improve listening, thinking, organizing, speaking. So now I have 10 topics and your response, so people can volunteer. Your response must be at least 1 minute and cannot be more than 2 minutes. So I encourage everyone to use the word of the day, which was given. So let's get started. So who wants to be first?
Yeah, Vidya, sorry to interrupt. If you could just give correctly the color card code for the speech, or maybe the timer can help you. Timer Aditya can help you
Yeah,
with
sure.
the.
Okay, so
Sure,
I
sure.
have, okay. So thank you, Aditya. So I have 10 questions. So if you can select any number, every question has a number related to it. So I would give the questions and you can answer. So who would like to go first?
Vidya, 1 second. I meant about the timing. The timer Aditya can give the timing rules before you
Oh,
begin.
okay, yeah, no problem. I'm sorry. I went forward. So, so what would be the timing? So is Toastmaster Aditya going to give the time, announce the time right now?
Yes, I'm audible to you.
Yes, you are.
For 1 minute, it have I show green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I show yellow card. At 2 minutes, I show red card. 30 seconds is a grace period to wrap up the speeches.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Toastmaster Aditya. So, so now we will start. As I told you, I encourage everyone to use the word of the day. So, who would like to go first? Any volunteers?
I think I
And
would
you
go
could choose a number. I would give. Okay. So, what's your favorite number from 1 to 10, David?
number 7.
So, number 7. Okay. The question is, who are the two people in your life that inspires you and why?
So thank you, Toastmaster Divya, for that question. Who are the two people who inspire in my life who inspire me and why? Well, I would start off with my parents, my mom and my dad. I would say why they inspire me is because I see the hard work they do. I think when I was in year 11, we actually saw my brother and I both decided that, you know what, this is the year that we're going to change. We're going to be the best versions of ourselves in school. And, you know, we could all think that, and we were going on course, we're going to do that. And then we actually saw our parents work as hard. Like when we told we're going to be the best version of ourselves, they were doing it simultaneously. And we realized, you know, they weren't doing it just when we decided that, you know, we're going to be the best versions of ourselves. They've been doing that all our lives. And we saw, And I realized that it goes on when I was in college as well. When I took my break, when I was in college, every day they put out the best versions of themselves. And I see that if I want to be someone, if I want to do something, if I want to be held, if I want to be the best version of myself continuously over the course of my life, I just have to look up at my parents. I can read as many books as I want. I can watch as many motivational videos as I need. But you can realize it's right there in front of you with who may be just a room away or who may be just phone call away sometimes. That is why I would say my parents are the two people who inspire me the most, who inspire me to be my best, and who inspire me to push forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster David. That was wonderful. That was really inspiring speech. So who would like to go first? Who would like to go second? I'm sorry. Anybody else? Would you like to volunteer? Any guest speakers? So anybody can
You
raise
can call
hands.
upon the guests, Divya. There is Fida, Rita ma'am, Rosalind, Musab. You can call them.
Fantastic. So how about Rita ma'am going? Because I
You
heard
can call
it was
upon DTM
wonderful.
Anita also.
Wow, I would love to. Okay, so how about Rita ma'am? So would you like to?
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
great. So
I'll try.
you could choose any number from 1 to 10, and I would ask a question which we have. If that's
8.
okay with you. Number
Yeah,
8.
8.
Okay. So what are the first 3 things you do when you wake up in the morning?
Thank you for that topic. So the first 3 things that one does is, as soon as you wake up, the first thing is that I would do is to first close my eyes and meditate. When I say meditate, it's just like lying down there and thinking what I'm going to do throughout the day and how peacefully I'm going to do it. Am I going to be rushed about things, or am I going to take it at my own pace? So that's the first thing that I do. I plan my day. That's how it goes about. After I've done that, I try to see how much time I can allocate for such a event, and how much time rather make my day more useful in a lot of ways. Now, when I say useful in a lot of ways, I mean what I would like to do is make sure I'm not wasting any time, and I'm going to be productive. Now, the next thing I do is, after I've been productive and I've decided how much time I'm going to allocate to it, I also decide the priority in which I need to do it. And once that is done, I get out of my bed, and then after my shower, I make sure now how much time I've got to put into it. So that's how I plan it for the day. And I also make sure that in my day, I have also included one thing that is very important, and that is not to lose my temper, to control my temper, and to make sure that I don't upset anyone. It's very important in life to make sure that you have pleasantries in life. So that's how I would like to have my day done. And after that, of course, I have my routine where I have my yoga exercises. I have my routine, my yoga, my exercises, my making sure I try to do one good deed a day. So this is how I plan the different things in my life. There may be more than 3, but that's how it goes. Thank you, and over to the table topics.
It was fantastic. Wonderful, wonderfully said. Thank you very much. So the next session, the next question, I would like to call upon DTM Anita. So
Divya, Dipansha has raised his hand.
Oh, lovely. Okay, thank you, Dipansh. So what number would you like to choose from 1 to 10? So I would give
I
you
would like to choose 9.
Would like to choose. Okay. Which activities, 9, yeah?
Yeah.
So which activities make lose track of time for you?
Which activities?
Make you lose track of time.
I lose track of time when I go out for cycling. So when I go out for cycling, right? So I live in Dubai, and there's an area colony called Jumeirah Islands. Okay, so it's built upon a desert, but now they've converted it almost into something like a forest, lake kind of a thing. And when I go out for cycling, so I lose track of time. During the weekend, sometimes I take more than 1 or 2 hours where I'm just cycling and the bushes and long trees and grasses and things like that around that. So it feels good to be out of track when you're in nature.
Oh, that was lovely. So I felt like I had a view of it. Thank you very much for explaining it very nicely and precisely. Okay. Next, I would like to call Toastmaster Tabassum. Um, Toastmaster Tabassum.
I choose two.
Okay, you choose two. Okay, well done. So, what's your hidden talent?
Well, my hidden talent that nobody knows. I guess I've always drawn my entire life, like right when I was a kid. So, but I never really honed that talent or really built on it until quite recently. So when people come to know of the things that I draw or paint, they are very surprised and they're like, I never knew that you could draw. So I guess that is a talent that nobody knew about me.
Okay, that's nice. Now we got to know about it now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we get to see some of your talent soon. Okay.
Sure.
So, anybody else would like to volunteer for any
Yeah.
questions? Okay.
Can I interrupt here, please?
Yes.
Divya, this can be the last table topic.
Okay.
And then you can hand it over to TM Modi. You can pick Mehir and then you can hand it over to TM Modi.
Okay. Sure. Thanks, Amita. Okay. Hello, Mehir.
Hi.
Hi. So, which question would you like to choose from 1 to 10? Which number?
Number 6.
Number 6. Okay. So, what are the 3 advices you would give to your younger self? 3 advices to your younger self.
Okay, so the first advice has to be to believe in myself, that I can probably achieve or do whatever I plan to do. Second would have to be to plan things better and know how the planning process has to be done, and things will eventually fall in place when you start, even if the plan doesn't go as you wanted it to be. And the third has to be to be more wise. Well, I mean, I don't know how I can explain my younger self to be more wise, but that would be a better, I mean, the most appropriate thing I'd want my younger self to be.
Sounds fantastic. So, thanks everyone who participated. I'll return this control to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you
Again,
so
you need to ask for the timer's report.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Divya Shanli. Could I have the timer's report by Toastmaster Aditya, please?
Okay, Toastmaster David took 4 minutes 48 seconds. Sorry, 1 minute 48 seconds. And Toastmaster Rita took 2 minutes 9 seconds. Toastmaster Deepans took 2 minutes 19 seconds. Toastmaster Tabasun took 3 minutes. 2 minutes 6 seconds. And Toastmaster Mihir took 1 minute 46 seconds.
Thank you so much for that. And the Zoom Master, please, can we do the polling? Because I do think everyone qualified for the session. Can you do the polling with the speakers?
Everyone qualified. I just need a recap. Maybe Aditya, you can send it to me on my WhatsApp.
The chat. Okay. So now we have the general evaluator, TTM with me. Good. So who is our general evaluator? She has been a Toastmaster since 2014. By profession, she is an NLP trainer who trains people to become NLP coaches so that they can take charge of their own lives, achieve success, and become empowered with skills to create a positive difference in others' lives too. She does that by teaching them NLP, hypnotherapy, and coaching strategies. So, what is her favorite book in line with the theme? You can heal your life by Louise Hay. She conducts your life workshops, and your favorite quote is, "Difficulties mastered are opportunities won," by Sir Winston Churchill. Over to you, General Evaluator TTM Purnisa.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Evening, for reading out the entire introduction of mine. I'm really so happy to hear it. Okay, so we are traveling into the world of books, and we are actually floating on it and rowing into it to see what others had to offer and all the memories of all those books we have read. Did you all have that thoughts about all the books you read and what all the messages you got from them, the learnings, speakers whom you been inspired from? So this also inspires us to be the authors of our own books. How many of you have that thought in mind? Is there anybody who want to write? Okay, Toastmaster David has raised his hand. Is there anybody? Okay, Toastmaster Mehir, well done. Toastmaster Kimji, absolute pleasure if I could read those books, all of yours, in the near future. And let's do it as a team. Let us all come together and create that magic. Okay, so we are witnessing such wonderful ideas and thoughts about books and how to improve our speeches. Today's meeting till now has been amazing. To make it even more amazing, we have our evaluators who are going to share their thoughts about the two speeches which we have listened. So the first speaker was Toastmaster Mihir, and his speech is going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Tina, who is a MBA professional on a long sabbatical from 10 years in the HR field. She is a homemaker now, mother of two beautiful girls, and she is the immediate past president of Showstopper. We know how the legacy is being passed, right? So we are going to witness something amazing from Toastmaster Tina. Give it up for the Assistant Area Director, Area 31, Toastmaster Tina. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam GE Dr. Purni Sudhakar. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And good evening, dear Toastmasters, and a warm congratulations to my target speaker, Toastmaster Mihir. Mark Twain stated that the secret of getting ahead is getting started. And Toastmaster Mihir, you are off to a great start. You were able to herald the details of your personal life, starting from your birth and also the significance of your birthday with Makara Sankranti and how you got or how you were named because it was that particular day. So I would like to liken your speech to a beautiful painting. So every painting has lots of colors. And one of the colors that I saw in your painting is the primary colors. You had this wonderful sense of humor that was just resonating throughout the speech, and you started it with a bang and you hooked us on. You gave us the examples as to the name of the meaning of your name being S-O-N and not S-U-N, and also how your father gave you a choice between your education, CA and ... CA. You paused for effect, and so you were able to come across with the sense of humor that is already permeating through you. The kind of stance that you have, the confidence with which you presented yourself, I think that is definitely a plus point. The conversational style with which you're speaking, it was really amazing. For someone who is speaking for the first time, I think kudos to you. You have definitely nailed it. But of course, for a painting to be vivid, you can't just have primary colors. You have to have the secondary colors. So in terms of the secondary colors, what I missed was personally is the anecdotes, the life stories, the funny incidents that would have happened in your life that would have added that extra color, or, would have augmented your speech a little more. We want to know more. And it would have been really great if you had some kind of story regarding the interactions between you and your father, your parents, or your brother, your friends during your college life or so. Like you said that you chose CA and for you, it turned out to be a better choice, but you never told us why. Why was it a better choice? So if you're given an example as to why it proved to be a better choice for you, I think it would have hit us much more better. Also, I feel that, of course, we do have an icebreaker. You're speaking about yourself. We have a shorter time limit, speech length, but you spoke still under the 4-minute time limit. Okay, so the reason why there is an extended time limit is so that you can extend on your content and make sure that you're comfortable while speaking and not rushing through. Of course, you had ease of pace, you paced yourself quite well, but you ran short of the time. A small trick of the trade that I learned initially before when I started speaking is 1 minute is equal to 100 words. So every time you try to make a speech, so 4 minutes would be equivalent to 400 minutes. Of course, it's not a hard and fast rule. This is just something that worked for me. It always runs, it might run a little over because of the way you speak, or maybe the kind of dramatics that you bring while presenting the speech, but that will come only once you start practicing. So in conclusion, I would like to say that I love the sense of humor that you brought forward, the confidence that with which you presented yourself. But if you try to add in a little more to the content of your speech and try to extend your speech a little more, bring in a lot of life stories, your anecdotes, I think you will definitely be able to ace this, because you're definitely off to a great start. Congratulations and all the best, Toastmaster Mihir.
That was well painted. And now let's move on to our next evaluator, who's going to evaluate the second speaker, Toastmaster Deepansh. To evaluate him, we have a Toastmaster who has joined Toastmaster in 2019. First time she is now taking up the role of an ex-com. We actually witnessed this ex-com person who was doing an amazing job at the start of this meeting, being so innovative, and that introduced her absolutely. We don't need any words to introduce her. She mentioned this and she said, do you need any specific information? And now, Toastmaster Natasha, let me tell you, we don't need any introduction when you've done your job so well. Help me in welcoming Toastmaster Natasha, our second evaluator.
Thank you so much, Purni. Good evening, Toastmasters. And special good evening to my target speaker, Deepansh. So, Deepansh, let me tell you, you won the very second you decided to do your icebreaker. Your topic, an attempt to change my paradigm, had a suspense to it. You did a good job by inviting us to your life and through your course of life. One thing that caught my attention was minimalism, as I am a hardcore believer of being a minimalistic for mental, physical, and spiritual clarity. You had good clarity of speech and eye contact. As an evaluator, let me tell you, whatever I told you so far will boost your confidence. But what I'm going to tell you now is going to boost your growth. Okay, so let's listen this out. To be a good speaker, this is what you need to keep in mind. A speaker-audience relationship is just like a mother-child relationship. Okay, so whatever mental, physical, metaphysical state you are in, your aim is how can you get audience awareness? How can you get the attention? How can you make it interesting? So like today you have your icebreaker speech. Only you know about it. And very rarely another person, that is Mihir, also knows about it. Okay, but nothing, nobody else, none of us else other than you both know about your life. So the ball is in your court. Now, what you need to do is, suppose, like I said, a mother says, Beta, eat carrot, it's good for your eyes. The child would roll his eyes and probably stuff the carrot in his nose and make a funny face. But if you say, Beta, eat carrot, and you're going to have superpower, and there's going to be lasers projecting from your eyes. Now that's got our attention. Okay, so what you need to do is, whenever you bring out, or you come up with a speech, always, it doesn't have to be a long, a long speech that has so many contents in it. It can be very simple. It can be, try to bring out the crazy, passionate, and humorous self. Okay, that way you can be more expressive because it's your ball game or your forte. So you can express yourself much better, and you be sure of capturing our attention as well. Okay, so it can be any thrilling incident, anything. It doesn't have to be all of it. It can be few of it that captures your essence. And that's what an icebreaker is all about. So as a conclusion, I would say kudos to you for getting through your icebreaker without a heart attack. Because I know, we all know how it is to do an icebreaker. And just focus on how confident and how how interesting, how passionate you are about the topic that you bring across. And that way, I'm sure you can present yourself, you can express yourself, which is the most important thing on being in a Toastmaster platform. How well can you express yourself? And you can do it in a much effortless way. And I'm sure you're going to be a very, very confident speaker. Okay, thank you, Deepansh. Over to you, Purni.
Okay, we had both the evaluators evaluate both the speakers, the duo, the Mathur brothers, as rightly mentioned by our Toastmaster Chaitanya Kimji, right? So, our table topic speakers voting ballots are here. You can vote for the best speaker. Okay. I have done my part. Okay, let's continue. So let me tell you what is this general evaluation is all about for all those guests and the new budding Toastmasters who are here to understand this particular part better. You earlier witnessed the first part, which was the speaking session, which was a prepared speech. The second part was the table topic session, and now we are in the general evaluation session where we have evaluations for the prepared speeches. And now I am going to present my general evaluation, which means I'm going to mention about the entire meeting, those parts which was very well done and those parts which need some more improvement, which can help our club move to the next level and which can help our speakers also to perform well by understanding the improvements which they need to implement in their speeches. So that is what I am going to proceed with. Before that, I would like to take the reports from our role players. Mr. Timer, Toastmaster Aditya, can we have the report, please?
Toastmaster Tina took 3 minutes 1 seconds and Toastmaster Natasha took 3 minutes 33 seconds.
Okay. Wonderful. So we can so both the evaluators are qualified, right?
Nevertheless, we'll have both of them because anyway they are two. 3 minutes 33 seconds is overboard actually. But, we shall give it.
Okay, that was so generous of our president. So let us wait for the voting. Okay, it's here. I have done my part, and let's move on further to get the report of did we have the grammarian? Was the grammarian
after this?
Yes,
we have the grammarian. Yeah.
Yes, okay. So we are moving on to the grammarian who is going to tell us about the good usage and not so good usage of English today in this meeting. And for presenting her report, Help me in welcoming DTM Anita Naidu, the grammarian of the day.
Thank you so much, DTM Purni. The grammarian's role becomes a little too boring when the speakers are very competent. And I think we are all heralding in the world of grammar at the Showstoppers, and more to come in the near future. Well, I have no suggestions as such, but I have some beautiful words and phrases. I'm just going to read them out. What book will spoil you is what the Toastmaster of the day said, which is very interesting. Books normally don't spoil anybody, but there are books that can spoil you, make you addicted to them. So, I mean, we can always take everything in a positive manner. So, that's a beautiful question. I love the word of the day. Not many have attempted it, but I think since it's introduced to us now, we can. The best part of the word of the day is that you can use it as a noun and as a verb also. So keep using it. Zestful is another nice adjective. I happen to have raised this planet is another nice line. And then the homonym sun and sun was brought into limelight. Opposite but compatible couple. Wonderful. Disciplinarian, another beautiful noun. Authoritarian is another beautiful noun and adjective. You can, I mean, majorly an adjective. Then there was a tongue twister that the speaker had used, haven't thought though, thought through. Okay, so, but he's done it properly. And then the way the name was brought forth, Deepansh, made a lot of sense. Of course, there's a Hindi word in it. Both of them are Hindi words, but then he also took deep, again a homonym between two languages, I should say, from his parents' name and then added it into his name. Beautifully done. Okay, between my master's and graduation, I would not say between. Between is normally used for objects. So you could say that, the period between the between my college days and my post-graduation days was whatever you focused on businesses. That's what you can say. And lovely lines from Toastmaster Kimji about penning thoughts, believing in what you say. And then I like the word torso because not many use the word torso. They all, I mean, there's this major mistake. I was waiting for it to come, but nevertheless, he didn't use it and he used this beautiful word there. A lot of people say, and your body, they start off by talking, and your body should be like this. There's no your body, it's the body of the speech structure. So instead of that, he very craftily put in the word torso over there, lovely. And then he said when you have a chronology, you have a subject matter, which makes a lot of sense. And I think it's vice versa. When you have a subject matter, you also have a chronology in your mind. What needs to be said and what you want to say. That's a lovely line again. These kind of lines add a lot of intrigue and curiosity when you use it in your speeches. So he's done it in his presentation, lovely. Harrowing, that's a lovely word, harrowing situation. Writer's block, we all hear it day in, day out. It's like even a woman's block is what to cook. You go there and you're stuck. So Rita ji has neatly told us how to combat it by getting up in the morning with the meditation. Objectivism, yes, that's a nice term. Secret of getting ahead is getting started is a very nice line from Mark Twain. I use it also for my evaluations. Changing my paradigm. That's another nice word. And minimalism, all of us know, but we don't follow. So better to start off. Boosting your confidence. Yeah, she said, boost your confidence, these words. And then she said, I went on to boost your growth. I mean, now I'm going to talk about boosting your growth. Excellent. And she compared the speaker audience relationship to the mother and child. Lovely analogy over there. So with that, I come to an end. Not much of a scope here for any improvement, unfortunately, or should I say fortunately. Thank you so much. Over to the General Evaluator, DTM Purni.
Okay, so that was the grammarian's report, and I'm so glad that there were not much of the flaws which will make us think, is it right or wrong? We didn't have such situations where we have to think, right? That's wonderful. Okay, so now let's move on to the next role player who is a very important person who is always vigilant, and she usually in such meetings I get caught in this particular section. I am sure she would have caught me till now. I've been just speaking for 5 minutes or so. Let us wait for our R counter who actually counts the which we utter in between our speeches, which are crux words. She also will be counting the words which are pronounced again and again, like and so that such extra words which are pronounced or uttered. Even now I said right. So let us ask Toastmaster Sri Devi how well we all have done. Toastmaster Sri Devi.
Thank you, BTM Purni. Good evening, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and future Toastmasters. The R counter just doesn't track the filler sounds like and but also listens to empty words like so, well, and excessive use of words like and, but, etc. During the meeting, these were the use of filler words and sounds. Toastmaster Natasha used 4 R's and repeated the and anything. Toastmaster Amita repeated also, so, and. Toastmaster David had 2 R's and 4 to 5 I's and also repeated and. Toastmaster Rakshan had 2 R's and several so and. Toastmaster Deepansh had 2 R's, repeated and several times. Also, however, Toastmaster Mihir had several R's, and Toastmaster Aditya had 2 R's. Toastmaster Tina had 1 R, repeated saw. Toastmaster Divya repeated saw. And DTM Anita had 2 R's. And our guest speaker, Madam Rita, had 4 I's. That's all from me. Let's be more awesome and not awful in our forthcoming meetings. Over to you, TM Modi.
Okay, that's wonderful. Let's not be awful. Okay, let's move on to our next section where I'm going to give the entire report of what happened well today and what are all those areas where we need to improve. Before we move on, it's already 8:57. May I ask the president, shall we extend the meeting for 5 to 10 minutes if that's okay with everybody?
I think we can extend for 5 minutes because your feedback will mean a lot to us.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam President. It's important to get the permission from the President before we extend our meeting. So let's proceed as she has given the green flag for me. Okay. So as we saw, our meeting started absolutely on time. And we were even before waiting for all the guests to come in. That shows the leadership who cares for the club. Kudos for all those who were present before the time to be welcoming all the guests, to be interactive with everybody. And our DTM Anita was doing a very good job making all the guests very comfortable to feel as if they know everybody. So that was very well done. That is a way we have to welcome our guests, right? So that was very well done. And now let's move on to the next areas where our president gave again a warm welcome, and she mentioned about the award, the Smedley Award. A round of applause for the club for making it possible, and the ExCom deserves a huge round of applause for doing this. Very well done. And she also gave a glimpse of the 7 meetings which have been held till now, which gave an idea to all the members and also for the guests to understand how well this club is functioning and what are the benefits everybody is going to get by being a part of this club. That was really very well done. And as we moved on, you also mentioned about the Instagram page and Facebook page. Yeah, I understand we can do it, but to manage time, you can send it as a message in the group or a personal message to avoid time. Even that 30 seconds counts, right, Toastmaster Amita? But I really thoroughly enjoyed that first part, which is very very important for anybody who wants to expand their club to help others know their club better. Moving on to our Toastmaster of the Day. Let us all give our emoticons to our Toastmaster of the Day, David, who gave a list of all those books which he has read. That gives an understanding about this guy. Oh my god, he has read so many books. That's wonderful. And if I have to be such a speaker, then I also have to read such books. So that gives an inspiration for all the budding Toastmasters and the youngsters who are joining in the meeting. There's only one simple suggestion which I would like to give Toastmaster of the Day is that you mentioned about all those books which you have read, and the theme is also that let's travel into my world of books. So that's okay. But what is in it for us? That's very important. When we are ready to listen to you, our attention span gets disconnected. Okay, he has read all these books, so what is in it for me? This book is for which type of readers? If I'm a traveler, which book I have to read? If you would have mentioned the genre by connecting with people, by asking, okay, are there any travelers here? Okay, now this book has helped me to understand how a traveler enjoys his travel, something like that, which can help the listeners to enjoy such books. Go and search for that. Yeah, that book he mentioned, I want to read. So that feel could have been brought about because you had a lot of time to mention that, right? Okay, that's a word of suggestion from my side. And as we move on, we had our word master, Toastmaster Rakshan. How wonderfully he presented his word of the day with a PowerPoint. Very well done, Toastmaster Rakshan. It was wonderful. I have put 5 stars for you here for that wonderful job you have done. And I see your enthusiasm throughout the meeting. Even I see how you're listening. You didn't switch off your video. That shows passion. I want you to continue this journey. I'm sure you're going to be somebody who's known in the Toastmasters fraternity very soon.
Thank you, ma'am.
My pleasure, my dear. Only a small suggestion which you might not be knowing, but it is for the benefit of everybody. The word master is given 30 to 1 minute, 30 seconds to 1 minute time. So you can reduce the timing by not explaining everything, like the sentences. You gave 5 sentences and then you asked everybody. So you can limit to 2 people, something like that. You can adjust time. So it helps us to manage the meeting well on time, right? So everybody has a responsibility. But well done. I really appreciate everything you have done today. And I would like to herald this about you to others. Okay, now let's move on to the secretary, Toastmaster Sri Devi, who gave the bullet points of the previous meeting. She gave every little detail which we missed to witness. Actually, we were not there, but still we were wondering, oh my god, what a wonderful meeting it was. I missed it. I should have been there. So that kind of a curiosity which she created, which was very well done. Again, here I would like to suggest Toastmaster Sri Devi, you can limit to very important points instead of bringing all those points. You can limit it to 1 minute or maximum 2 minutes. So that will save a lot of time. Okay, moving on. Our speaker, the first speaker, Toastmaster Mehir, Pursuit of Happiness. And we had the pursuit of happiness listening about you, Toastmaster Mihir. The sparkling joy and the humor which you brought in, as rightly mentioned by our evaluator, Toastmaster Tina covered every single point which I have noted down here. And I also like the analogy which she used about painting and the primary colors, the secondary colors. Absolutely apt for that speech of Toastmaster Mihir. What I would like to suggest, apart from what Toastmaster Tina has mentioned, is, as it is a first speech, it's completely okay. We don't expect anything from the speakers. We only expect them to stand in front of an audience and to speak. But moving on, I would like you to talk to the mentors who are assigned to you by the VPE to get an idea whether you have done the speech properly, whether the number of words are okay, will it be in on time, because 4 minutes was way too less. You could have extended as mentioned. Mentors are the best people to reach out to, or you can in Toastmasters fraternity, anybody is ready to help you out. You can reach out to anybody and get all your doubts clarified to make your wonderful speech to the next level. Okay, now let's move on to Toastmaster Deepan's speech, his elder brother, and I felt Toastmaster Mihir was complimenting, both were complimenting with each other. He was mentioning about his brother and he was also mentioning about the younger brother. That was a lovely, adorable scene for all of us. That's lovely. Both brothers coming together and giving their icebreakers and mentioning about each other's. I have not seen any siblings like that, and kudos to both the brothers for doing that. And mainly Toastmaster Deepanch also mentioned that you have taught cricket to him. That shows how lovable he is. Toastmaster Mihir, you have to adore your brother even more, okay? And the entire scenario which was mentioned by Toastmaster Deepanch, we could visualize. I could even visualize the shipping yard and everything, right? And Toastmaster Natasha has mentioned a lot of points which were relevant for Toastmaster Deepan's speech to improve his speech. But what I would like to suggest Toastmaster Natasha, as it is an icebreaker, we can limit the suggestions to just 2. Even in any speech, it's better to limit our suggestions to 2. And for an icebreaker speech, it's better try to find out what all they have done well and to limit the suggestions just with 2. Yeah, so that's very well done. But I appreciate Natasha's keen observing ability, where she has observed everything. Job well done. Moving on to our educational session. What should I call? Should I call it an educational session? When I think about education, I remember my school days. Oh my god, it was so boring. I wish our Toastmaster Kimji should have been our teacher, who can be so entertaining and who could bring so many practical points which were so useful for us to relate and connect with what we have done. Okay, this is the area I have to improve. All those points were flashing in our mind, and at the end he also had a question and answer session which really helped everybody to get clarified. Very well done, sir, and I wish I could listen more in the future, and I'm waiting for those ideas about the improvement of speakers, evaluators, or anything which you would like to offer us. Moving on, we had an impromptu guest introduction session by our president. That was a very good timing to know about our guests, and I was really thrilled to know there is a TEDx speaker here who has joined Toastmaster newly. That was wonderful to know guest Roslyn is a TEDx speaker. And thanks to guest Tabassum, Toastmaster Musab, guest Fida, and our guest Rita ma'am for being here. And this is a right time, Toastmaster Amita, to have our guest introduction, because many join sometimes late and it's a virtual meeting. You can also mention on the agenda that guests will be introduced during that time. That will actually help to for everybody to understand, okay, this is what is going to happen next, and I'm going to be introduced and all that. So that makes everything clear. Okay, now let's move on to the table topic session. Toastmaster Divya Shalini. What an amazing introduction of a table topic session. She very well narrated what a table topic session is all about, how it's going to be there, how it is going to help others to speak on the go and everything. The only point which I would like to tell is you mentioned 1 minute you have to speak, there will be green, and you mentioned you cannot speak more than 2 minutes. And that was the time our president just came in and she encouraged the timer to mention about the timing. That was a very smooth transition and sharing of information where the guests didn't even know what was happening, but that was a very valid point, and that was very important point, because after 2 minutes you have 30 seconds to wrap up your speech, which was an important information. And all the speakers spoke so well, and most of the credit also goes to our table topic master, because all the topics were so easy and anybody could speak on the go. Very well done, Toastmaster Divya, wonderfully done. We had 5 speakers and all those speeches were amazing, and it actually was so practical, and we could also relate to each other. It was not something which we can't understand. Everybody understood the topic and they delivered the speech. A small information, even this table topic session is like a normal speech, as we already witnessed the educational session where the Toastmaster mentioned about the opening body and a conclusion. Even the table topic session, the speeches can have an opening body and a conclusion. So that will actually create that the impact which we are expecting from a speech. Nowadays we don't watch YouTube videos, we only watch the shorts, right? So that is what it is, the table topic session. And finally, all the role players did their job amazingly well. The timer, the R counter, the grammarian who did an amazing job. Before I close, I just want to mention few things for the benefit of all the members and also for the club. We can maintain timing, and even I am now overshot of time and I'm going overboard. That's why I'm just stopping a lot of points which I wanted to mention. Yeah, mostly we are done. Only thing which I want to mention is the time, and one small thing, like in between we had several people telling about you have to do this, you have to do that. When we are witnessing the meeting and when the guests come in, actually they don't know what is happening. Few things can be mentioned beforehand, and if you see any flaw happening which will not be observed by the guest, you can just leave it aside and then move on without the notice of the audience, right? So that can be done if you can avoid talking in between when some role player is delivering their content or something. So that will help the meeting to go smoothly. So, but overall, today's meeting was amazing with a lot of learning, fun, and also an educational session which pepped up everything put together. Today's Showstopper meeting was really a pleasure to witness and to be a part of. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much for that evaluation, General Evaluator DTM with me. That was really, really, really well done. So as we are short of time, as mentioned, I just have to say 2 words. Thank you guys for being a part of this session. It was really enjoyable. It was a good first time for me to be part of the TMOD. And I really loved you guys as an audience. It was really, really, really fun to be a part of. I'll pass over for the closing for our president, Toastmaster.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Dr. Purni. It was indeed a very in-depth evaluation, and I'm sure we all will benefit out of it. Thank you so much. Please accept a token of appreciation from the Showstoppers. I will just share the screen. Allow me. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank Toastmaster Chaitanya Kimji for giving us an insight into the art of speech writing. Thank you so much. And the poll results I would like to announce soon. Best table topic speaker goes to Toastmaster Rita. Best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Tina. And the best speaker goes to Toastmaster Mihir. It was a great evening. Thanks to all of you. So as we have already run out of time, overboard, so I will declare the meeting number 46 close. Thank you. Thank you so much.
But I know it's becoming a recurring thing. Can we just all stop for a picture? Like
Yes,
everyone just
of
be there for
course.
a picture.
Tina, Divya, would you all like to on your cameras for a great picture?
Okay.
Sridevi, yes. Divya, Rosalind?
You guys want to be part of the picture? Okay. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, what? Last one. 3, 2. All right then. Thank you guys. I'll send over the pictures in the
Thank
group.
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Tabassum, can you just stay back for just 2 minutes?
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good
Take care.
night.
Bye. Bye.
Tabassum, would you like to come on board with us?
Yes, I would. It was interesting.
Yeah, you could leave your email ID and number with us.
Yeah, should I say it now?
Yeah, you can either send it to via WhatsApp.
Yeah, you can send it by WhatsApp. Yeah.
Okay, I'll send you by WhatsApp. That's
I'll share
better.
the reference number with you.
Yeah, you can send it to Ditya Manita. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Thank you, Rakshan. It was a wonderful job. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Kim Gigi.
Thank you, Kim.
I
And good-
just wanted to
Thank you,
talk
sir.
to you two ladies for a second, if it is possible.
Sure. Good to have you back.
I just wanted one thing as VP PE. I would just like to, if you could just broadly send me what you would expect me to do for the club.
Sure.
Yeah, in as simple words as possible on WhatsApp. Just let me know. If you have assigned any mentees to me, let me know. I will have a mentor-mentee relationship. He did get in touch with me, and I tried to help as best I could. And I think he took my suggestions on board, which was a nice feeling. So that was a positive that I
Fantastic.
joined.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Thank you so much,
And
sir.
also I learned today that the count of words is very important. And whenever I have written the speeches, I make sure